Hello, everybody. So I'm keeping in touch with all of you guys, and so yeah, just I guess everyone's been. Oh, this is bad. This is to see what happens. Life, we're on our phones all the time, and maybe that's something we can talk about. For instance, see, when I log in, to be a responsible citizen, check your accounts. Let me see. Anyway, I do all these little things. I don't know. I just do them. That people have told me, "Hey, I like this little chit chat session, little things that you do that no one else maybe thought about." But for instance, you log in, whatever amount of money you make, whoever you are, you're probably going to do it in this day and age, unless you still have connection to the gold reserve in your backyard. Maybe that's something I should be doing. But I make things such as my passwords, like something like breathe deeply or become. Be ready for this. Take a breath. And I found it funny because in times where, you're trying to make all the ends meet kind of thing, that subtle thing has helped me chill out. And that's been goal. Is that what my channel is about now? Like the magical everything I do, little tiny things that help me chill out. So as you know, I went through the most jarring time in my life. Not to go into it too much, but cancer, hospital, that scenario. Come person being thrown into this mess of go, do, interruptions left and right. So I've been telling people that, yes, thanks for your prayers and all that, and that those little increments of kindness definitely help when I'm receiving that. That's the challenge of being a giver. And then you are now trying your best to be a receiver, but you're so busy being a giver. So anyway, I found like tools like this very handy, although, a little chat. Let's have some fun right now. Ready? Hey Sky, what's up? What's up, Sky?
Not much, just here to chat. Anything specific on your mind?
Yeah, you're currently on YouTube with no pressure, but I have a question.
No pressure at all. Go ahead and fire away with your question. I'm here to help.
Okay. How would you manage yourself in the ways of keeping calm when you have to live in a hospital?
Living in a hospital can be challenging. To stay calm, focus on routine, find activities you enjoy, connect with others, and take breaks for self-care. What's the context for this question?
I'm a cancer patient.
I'm sorry to hear that you're going through this. While in the hospital, lean on support from loved ones. Explore activities you enjoy. enjoy, and communicate openly with the medical team about your needs. How can I assist you further?
Wow, I wish I knew about you back then. Thanks a lot, Sky.
I'm here now. If you ever need to talk or have questions, feel free to reach out. Wishing you strength and positivity on your journey. Anything else on your mind?
No, I was just curious what you would say, and again, you've been very helpful, even though I know you're not real.
I'm here to assist and provide support. If you ever have more questions or just want to chat, I'm just a message away.
Okay, thanks a lot. See, it's interesting, isn't it? The technology that we have, and now we have this. I didn't use it during my stay, but I just want to, I guess this is what the video is about, things that help me. The other thing was I journaled every day. So, very easy. You can't go outside. Go ask someone to go to the dollar store, get one of these. Right? And yeah, you write all the things that you can't possibly remember, because that was a challenge. Every 3 hours someone's coming in telling you you gotta do something. And you know, I have many things here, like the plan to remake your guitar. And I tell people I've been doing this every day. It's insane. I'm a crazy note man. That's how I get things done. And it's not really difficult, but I'm always telling people, just get one of these, wake up, write. I do a practice called morning pages. Not sure if you guys know about that book. Many of my good friends who have gone onwards into the stratosphere of success. Surprised, we share that in common. We do this practice called morning pages. And so morning pages, basically you take 3 pages, 3 blank pages, I guess 8 by 11, and then you just la-di-da, MORNING pages. And you go 3, and then you say stream of consciousness. And it's very liberating. I don't know if it's backwards or not. The general rule is you write 3 pages. You don't think. Preferably do it with a pen. I can say why after, but you write anything that your run-on sentence mind can muster, and you do it 3 and you stop at 3, so that gives you a little parameter box to maintain that you don't sit there all day writing all your problems. But it can be from the things that you have to do in the day, little errands, pay bills, stuff like that. And I quote the book, Artist's Way at Work. It always makes me laugh when I read it again. From everything to doing the laundry to writing about the strange look in your lover's eye this morning that you don't know what that look meant. That's okay too. And the thing is, you realize these are just thoughts. So this is why I can have a crazy day and then realize, you know what, that's just a thought. It's just my mind process doing what it does. It's very helpful. And I think meditation really gets people sometimes and even this practice, because you haven't done that in your life. You have a lot of stuff to write down. So initially it's very difficult. They say you do it for 6 months, you never read them. You just, they call it like, you eat food, you don't keep it in, you gotta let it go, right? So those are some of the tools that have helped me. And, I'm just still checking in with, not used to this social media chat thing, 3 platforms. I realize I've been streaming a lot, and my thoughts on that have been, because of my nature of engaging live and letting the flow go where it goes, sometimes it seems to go towards potty humor. Like a child, I just kind of end up joking about that. So I had a conversation with a friend about when people know us and or they think they know us, if you show that side of yourself, like more often than not, this is what's funny, people think of you as that. And I always believe we're many different facets. And when I make friends, there's some gold sharing with you. I only consider them a really good friend if I've seen them, laugh, cry, go through something difficult, go through extreme joy, win the lottery. I had a friend win the lottery. Or friend's friend. So I was just thinking how strange my life is. It really is unique. So I guess that's another thing. Embrace your unique life, because when you read books and self-help books and things like that, they're built to be quite general, to give you, say, like a scaffolding in which to organize oneself. But essentially, this is why things like coaching or direct coaching helps, because we can actually look at the specific scenario in. So, for example, I had the choice of seeing a psychologist when I was in the hospital, or the other choice was a spiritual advisor. And me, I like to sound a spiritual advisor, and I said, I already read a lot of books. I don't know how they ended up being on that topic on psychology. It was just the whim of that stream of books. And, I was really getting into buying books, which was good. And, I spent more time reading books than I did online in the first amount of time. I guess that's another thing we can have. If you have some prolonged stay at the hospital, get books, ask your friends anything you read lately that motivates you. For example, and it was a fun coincidence, had heard a lot about Atomic Habits by James Clear, if that is your name. I was like, hopefully that'll help me get clear, right? And so I had a very interesting first couple of chapters where he explains how life is difficult and life is slow, especially when you're going through something that no one else can possibly understand but you, and it's your experience. Go at your own pace. And I didn't expect him to talk about his little sister, who coincidentally had gone through leukemia and was, a big, eventful, trying time in their lives meaning him, her, and extended family. And so I just thought never-ending story time. The book is shooting out of the page. I get this guy, and he said, she had gone through some tough times, decided to bone marrow transplant, and now it's like that didn't happen. And when I was reading it, and this is the thing is to say, that's why I'm given to sharing now. If anything I do helps someone along the way, if we are living examples of a goal for somebody, I was getting chills now that even in reading that while I'm in the hospital, it's like, oh, somebody else went through this and they seem to be okay. And I've been wondering if I should go ahead and do that, and if I'm gonna be okay. And and then some of these books are so good. Like, I do this to myself. I love a book. I don't want to finish it, so I just kind of prolong the book. But some books, like self-help, not really meant to be, that you read them like a story. It's kind of, you can go back, like open up a random page and get all the nuggets out. And I think it's good to have a library of such things on the wall. And sometimes just, having them on the wall is a great reminder. I even just put the dust jackets in the frame and I hang them on the wall. I don't know if that's something anyone else does, but then it reminds me to be the lessons in which I have learned. So yeah, I guess that's my quick and dirty as I woke up in the morning, like a lot of things I'm still going through, pain threshold, but then I incorporated all these practices, took care of myself, took a shower, drank this super purple smoothie of blueberries and vega plant protein, and and it just makes you feel right in the morning, right? Oh yeah. And so those are some things you could do. Any other news? I created this, so it's create. I always say, make your dreams come true a little bit at a time. So if you didn't notice, I have a logo for my brand of music, big long name, VibrationOfTheOne. And I made a logo and I wanted to have it on clothes, so I embroidered it here. I paid a pretty penny for that, and I don't know if anyone wants one. And I did my own stylings, but I'm constantly creating. We call that CC. So constantly creating keeps me joyful. There's just so much I'm doing all the time. I just cleaned up my room, just like Jordan Peterson says. Not only do I clean up my room, I create it in how I want, like a painting. So all of this room was designed in my little notebook here. So even all my instruments, all the things that you guys love from the past, all began as a little sketch in this book. So even though that's another thing I want to get back to, is many things people don't know me for and know me for is drawing. I love doing that, and hence I have these what are they called? love things through the screen, getting back into digital and maybe digital painting. So that's been the reigniting of the exuberance. And of course, as we know, we have a friend here all the time. So yeah, that's the news. And I guess meditation 3 times a day. Even morning pages, it's essentially kind of like a meditation. And the simplest way I put meditation is you sit by yourself, let thoughts come, and you don't have to engage in them. So, I always think it's fun. Like, when I tell people, you do it in your own private practice. If I'm being calm, like so, and then in between it, you're not thinking giant pink elephants in the room, empty your mind. That's what is kind of funny about meditation. So if you learn to just experience the serenity on that, it is what this guy is. Although I don't have to have people agree with me, but that's the same thing for me. The same thing for me is if I'm for me, it's the same. Like the notes, not the notes. They're not even notes. Gotta enjoy life. Maybe that's another. Okay. Things like that happen. They gotta be talked about. So this is my friend. It washed up, funnily enough, when I was meditating in a wintry scene. It was quite enigmatic. It kind of floated up on the water, and I was like, what? So I went up to it and I took it out of the water, and I'm like, what is this? It as you can see, trippy as that is like the same size as my hand, my thumb. It looked like a hand. And I had another portion of it come out, which now has a fluorite crystal, as you can see. And gave that to my beloved at the time. And it has been with me through the most difficult times in my life. So yeah, mystical things had occurred, and there are many stories with this. I really can't explain. Just even thinking it showed up like that, and you have to check if it was real. And I had told some people about some of the mystical stories I have encountered. Maybe this is another section of chat I should add. And perhaps they were not the people to share it with. So I guess that's the other thing. Sharing, this kind of sharing where, I have decided to be an open book on a certain level that may help the collective. And then there's this other kind of sharing, just the deep, esoteric alchemy of the universe. And yeah, I guess it's something. Is that what our little stick friend is asking right now? To share more of that? Last time I opened up about that with somebody, this is the place of trust. They were like, wow, I don't think you should just readily tell people all of these mystical things that happen to you. It's kind of, for example, the more somebody tries to go against the nature of their magical selves, is that what I should title this video? The more you go against your magical self, the more the magical world will remind you that you're a little bit magical. And so my jokes always was it the outward appearance. So I struggle. Like I'm looking at even my success with school. The reason I even was able to come through is because I had all of these practices. Like I just shared with you, the writing, the meditating, the ability to let go in very dire moments of stress. Because I've been practicing these things for a really long time, it's something that I've been looking at, and even now, I am able to tolerate extreme amounts of stress and understand that's part of the process. And there's many things that I put myself through because they were scary and stressful. For one, getting through the cancer experience. Everyone's afraid of that. Every time I talk about it, I trigger people. And then other things like music is scary. Like music is actually scary. I have to share some part of myself that's private, open that to ridicule, even more so to do it because the connection is worth it, right? So, and other things before that, there was the artist, there was the fire dancing, and being as I'm reconnecting to a lot of friends from many facets of my life, I wonder if that's also honestly the reason I'm doing these videos, is because time is precious, and there were a couple of times I was not possibly going to be here. And the interesting thing is, when I talked to my spiritual advisor about that, she always said, you're very interesting. Like, I've never talked to anyone with this outlook or point of view. And yeah, I'm careful not to be bypassing the seriousness of my situation. But, I had said, I actually feel like if it is my time to go, I'm pretty happy. I've loved a lot of the people I went out to love, being as that may have not ended up forever. That's even something people might not think of, like the loved and lost. To even think people live a life where none of the opportunity is met, even once, and say, I did my best in that capacity. No judgment there. And even to get to that place, you still have overwhelming love, exuberance for yourself and others. and where those stories of learning and wisdom and things that may have not worked out, at least I wasn't afraid. And that's what I was saying to her. And, to make peace with the possibility of going to the other side, that's another thing that I'm wondering about now, because I've had people reaching out who I don't even know want to interview me about a strange scenario. And told some people I had some very interesting dreams in that period of time. I didn't even know if they were dreams. Some of them felt like they were the myth of the fairies. If you know about that Celtic tradition, that there's a place in Ireland, because I guess where all the people who are passed on, or the fairies, come and they try to cajole you into crossing into the other side. And I had some very interesting dreams about that. I guess I forgot about that because I didn't write it down. But anyway, it's a chilling thing, but I still chose to go through it and communicate, whoever we seemingly are. So yeah, I just always feel the need to just check in with people. Possibly like this is still a good idea, because I am a joyful, happy, entertaining kind of folk sometimes, but I want to open up the realms to this kind of open conversation as well, because call out to the mystical people. Things are getting dicey in the world, and I had reached out to people on Threads too. I got zero reply. Maybe everyone was terrified. If you are in the place of, I believe in the Tao, it is also known as, have you reached the place of self-realization? And I've had a couple of interesting YouTube comment side chats with a few people about that, specifically that if you're seeking for the first realization to be the same, it is not going to be that way. When you realize every moment is never repeating itself, although archetypal cycles do present themselves. And this is another side that I know a couple of my friends know. I can be an extremely trippy person to know when I talk to you. Because there's interaction, and there's the interaction. I never even really thought of it to speak of it in such a manner, of a conscious connection with the soul, where I'm not just me, avatar. I'm kind of housing this horizon plane with another soul. It's like all of our being, all of our past connection, it runs in this infinitude plane And I even say plane because if we put it on the plane, that'll house the conversation for the three-dimensionally trained mind with all of its memories. It must be like a plane relatable conscious, so that there can be an understanding, a bridge between that. But truthfully, in the other side, I guess I'm speaking it like it's my experience with going to the other side willfully in a dream context. That very notion of not having a plane to fix mind and sentences upon, which would be able to be translatable, is very difficult for someone to let go and just understand that concept of infinity, kind of empty, many words for it in the Vedas. It's a true state, no reflection upon it. It's plain, because it's just being in that flow. And that's why when I play music, and part of my joyful reasoning and goal was to get people entrained to that idea. So, for example, I'm soloing. Now you're moving through these universes, and then you think, and then you don't think. And then there's patterns, and then there's patterns of exploration. There's patterns that you never ever did, that you may never actually touch on again. And you don't even remember because you're busy in that. So that's why a lot of artists, whether it's painting, whatever it's what you call it, the best people put it is calling it flow, or the proximal zone of development is the technical psychology way of putting it. It's such a awe-filling experience that it's like meditation. You want, earlier on, you want to need that specific experience, but yet that perhaps is an error for you to reach for that. Now it's a memory, now it's not a flow, so that zone is within itself unreachable until you let go to let it be how it is. Let it be, like the Beatles. And that is one of the simplest, I think, ways to enlighten oneself. And the words definitely have trained us to compartmentalize and conception. And yeah, oftentimes we don't want to have to speak about it because it's like the words don't do it justice. So another way I put it is I always say I wish all my friends were musicians, guitarists, artists, so they could feel and experience the feeling of a song, of the art, of the channeled song moving through you. It's such a deep experiential understanding that, some people may already experience it, and that's why music is so beautiful. In covering a song, you might feel that you understand all of those messages within that song and what the person was going through and feeling. And that's why I'm also noticing to take breaks, because when you're a channel like this, and if you're covering a whole bunch of songs of misery and story, and even if you're aware of that, you might just get sad for a while, right? So that was my goal too, to write in the ways of, how do I write these songs of expansion, songs of, it's a good feeling, it's good to be free, man. It's knowing not all of the things on the radio have those encoded intentions. So yeah, I guess this is a big long one now. For the week, I might not come back in a week. And the other thing for sharing is caring. Care Bear Countdown, for those in the 80s, is, I think, pointing the camera to yourself and pouring your heart out, without these choppy chop edits to keep your attention, just reminds us that there is a person behind the screen. I'm even just trying to figure out where the camera is. I'm looking at you. So it's true, everyone. I'm Superman. Anyway, I think that's enough for now. I have to go visit my family. I guess I'm ready to do a podcast now. This is my warm-up. Should I post this? Should I not post this? Is this too scary for you? What do you think? The last 3 times I posted something where it's just like I was just completely myself, I got all these messages from people saying like, keep doing it, like keep doing the thing you do. And I was like, sure, that's not scary. Completely terrifying. But I realized in coming back as my second life, there are mystical things at hand. I was fully ready to be like, if I'm not supposed to be here anymore, I had a good time, right? I had a good time. I had many people run away from me when I lifted the veil. So even times I didn't think I never even tried to consciously lift the veil, because I noticed that's kind of just not nice. It's like revealing this world is a holodeck and you're looking to Captain Picard being like, fallacy, man. Are you really the captain? Or admiral in a weird different trans dimension? I don't know. And yeah. Anyway, I am gonna have to finish the rest of this movie. So that's 43 minutes in. If you stayed for this long, thank you. Let me know if you like this off-the-cuff video, which is also not live. Live is interesting too, because I get to just talk to people, although I'm finding live a little bit strange because it doesn't show what the people are saying on the screen. So that's why podcasts open to that. I gotta get back to all of my messages now. Apparently I have all these messages about wanting to do a podcast. So thanks everybody. Keep it really, 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 really real.